Have you ever felt lost, broken, or abandoned by everyone you love? Don't scroll away, because this story might be the reminder your heart was waiting for. Like, share, and listen till the end, because this could be Allah calling you closer. When Yusuf Alayhi Salam was thrown into the dark well by his own brothers, the world must have seemed like it ended for him. The silence of the water, the cold stones, the darkness, that was his first prison. But even there, in the depths of despair, Allah's plan was unfolding. Sometimes when we are left alone, it isn't punishment. It's protection. It's preparation. Yusuf's tears in the well weren't signs of weakness, they were signs that his heart was still soft enough to feel. When he was sold into slavery, he could have cursed fate. Instead, he held on to faith. When he was locked in prison for a crime he didn't commit, he could have lost hope. Instead, he became a guide for others. Every loss brought him closer to his true purpose. Every betrayal carved wisdom into his soul. And when the time was right, not early, not late, Allah raised him higher than those who once threw him away. The message? When you feel lost, when the path disappears beneath your feet, that's not the end. It's Allah calling you to return, to surrender, to trust again. The pain you feel isn't a sign of distance, it's the sound of your soul being pulled closer to its Creator. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Pray through it. Because maybe, just maybe, your well today is the beginning of your rise tomorrow. And when Yusuf stood before his brothers years later, dressed in royal garments, power in his hands and peace in his heart, he didn't seek revenge. He forgave. He smiled through the memories that once broke him. Because by then he understood every moment of darkness was a step toward the light Allah had prepared for him. That's the secret most of us forget. When Allah loves you, He doesn't make the road easy. He makes it meaningful. He removes what distracts you. He breaks what limits you. He tests you not to destroy you, but to teach you patience, mercy, and depth. You say, "Why me?" But Allah is saying, "Because I chose you." Every unanswered prayer, every sleepless night, every tear that nobody saw, they were all seeds being watered in silence. Yusuf's story isn't just history, it's a mirror. You're not lost. You're being guided. You're not forgotten. You're being written into something greater. So when life closes every door and people turn away, remember, the well didn't end Yusuf, it awakened him. Allah doesn't abandon His servants, He realigns them. When you feel that emptiness, when your heart aches for meaning, it's not the end. It's the beginning of your return. Raise your hands, whisper even if your voice shakes, because sometimes the distance you feel is only a veil, and behind it, Allah is waiting for you to call His name. And maybe you've been wondering why your prayers seem unanswered, why silence meets your cries, why nothing feels right anymore. But silence isn't absence. It's space for you to remember Him without distractions, to see what truly matters. Allah's mercy doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it arrives in heartbreak, in loss, in confusion, because only when the heart breaks open can the light enter. Yusuf learned that in the well, and so can you. Maybe that betrayal you faced wasn't the end of your story but the turning point. Maybe the rejection you felt was Allah protecting you from what would have destroyed your soul. When Allah loves you, He purifies you, and purification is never painless. But it's beautiful, because what comes after is clarity. So when you feel lost, stop running from the pain and start running to the one who sent it. Cry in sujud, let the tears fall, because they are the bridge between your heart and His mercy. Remember, no one who ever turned to Allah with sincerity was ever truly lost. Yusuf walked through betrayal, slavery, and prison, yet he never let go of faith. And when the time came, Allah gave him back everything: honor, peace, and the love he thought he'd lost. So don't give up now. Your well will not last forever. Your dawn is already written. Just hold on, because Allah is calling you closer, and what's waiting for you on the other side of patience is more beautiful than anything you've lost. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize every tear had meaning, every delay had mercy hidden inside it, and every moment you thought was punishment was actually protection. You'll see how perfectly Allah timed your healing, how He removed people who weren't meant to stay, and how He brought you closer to peace through pain. Yusuf didn't see the wisdom when he was in the well, he saw it only when the story was complete. You too might not understand now, but trust that one day you will. Allah never writes chaos into the life of a believer, He writes purpose disguised as hardship. So if your heart feels heavy tonight, whisper His name. If your soul feels empty, fill it with dhikr. If your world feels dark, remember that Yusuf found his light in the deepest darkness. You're not forgotten. You're chosen for something greater. The pain you feel right now is not proof that Allah abandoned you, it's proof that He wants you to return to Him. He misses your voice, your sincerity, your dua that came from the heart. So answer His call. Pray again, even if your faith feels small. Smile again, even if your hope feels weak. Because the moment you choose to trust Him through the storm, that's when the story begins to change. Allah's plan is not late, and His mercy never runs out. You just have to take one step toward Him, and He will run to you. And when that moment comes, when you finally feel peace after the storm, you'll understand that every hardship was a lesson, every delay was a mercy, and every no from the world was Allah's gentle redirection toward something better. You'll realize that nothing was taken from you except what would have kept you away from Him. Yusuf's brothers thought they were destroying him, but in truth, they were pushing him closer to his destiny. The same happens with you. The ones who leave, the dreams that fall apart, the doors that shut, they are all part of the divine choreography guiding your soul to where it truly belongs. And once your heart accepts that, everything changes. You stop asking why me and start whispering Alhamdulillah. You begin to see beauty in patience, strength in silence, and love in surrender. That's when you understand that being lost was never a curse, it was an invitation. Allah was calling you closer through the things you thought were breaking you. So breathe. You're exactly where you're meant to be right now. Keep walking, even when you can't see the end of the road. Because every step you take toward Allah is a step away from pain, fear, and confusion. You just need to keep moving with faith in your heart, and soon, like Yusuf, you'll stand in your own moment of light, smiling at the wisdom that once made you cry. And maybe that's the moment when you'll finally understand what trust in Allah really means. It's not just saying I believe when life is easy, it's standing firm when everything collapses, it's whispering Alhamdulillah through tears, it's holding your heart steady when the world shakes around you. That's the faith Yusuf carried when there was nothing else left. And because of that faith, Allah never left him. He guided every step, even in the dark. You too are being guided, even now, even if you can't see it. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every quiet moment of doubt, they are not wasted. They are building your strength, polishing your soul, bringing you closer to who you are meant to be. When you finally look back, you'll see that the pain wasn't random, it was a map, a path that led you home. The loneliness you feel is Allah's whisper, saying, "Come back to me." The fear you feel is His reminder that there's no safety except with Him. And when you finally surrender, truly surrender, peace enters your heart like dawn breaking after the longest night. That's when everything makes sense, why the people left, why the doors closed, why nothing worked. Because all along, Allah was never punishing you. He was protecting you. calling you, waiting for you to remember him as Yusuf did in the well. And when you answer that call, everything, even the pain, becomes beautiful. And when you answer that call, the world no longer feels heavy. The noise fades, and your heart starts to breathe again. You begin to realize that peace was never lost, it was just buried under your own fears and distractions. Allah doesn't need to change your circumstances to change your life, He changes your heart, and everything else follows. That's what happened to Yusuf. His surroundings were dark, but his heart was full of light. Even in the prison, he was free, because his soul was connected to the one who owns freedom itself. That's what faith does, it frees you from needing the world to understand you, love you, or save you. You start living for Allah, not for people. You stop chasing what's temporary, and start seeking what's eternal. That's when the beauty returns, not in the form of luxury or applause, but in the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Yusuf's story ends with reunion, forgiveness, and peace, not because he fought the plan, but because he trusted it. And the same will happen with you. The pain that once made you question everything will one day make you grateful for everything. The tears that burned your eyes will become the reason your heart is soft enough to love again. So don't rush what Allah is unfolding. Your story isn't over. The well wasn't the end for Yusuf, and this moment isn't the end for you. Keep your faith alive, even when it trembles. Keep walking, even when your steps are weak. Because every moment you choose patience over despair, you are drawing closer to the one who never leaves. And when he finally lifts you, you'll realize that every fall was a rise in disguise. And when that realization settles in your heart, you'll stop asking for life to be easy and start asking for faith to be strong. You'll stop chasing what shines for a moment and start searching for what glows forever. That's when your soul finds its home. Yusuf's journey wasn't about reaching power, it was about reaching peace, and peace came only after surrender. You'll see the same pattern in your own story. Every storm, every heartbreak, every long night of silence was Allah polishing your heart until it could reflect His light again. You'll realize that your lowest moments were never signs of weakness but signs that Allah still loved you enough to test you, to wake you, to guide you back. Because if He didn't care, He would have let you wander in comfort and forget Him completely. But He loved you too much to let you stay lost. That pain that broke you was a message. Come back, my servant. And now, when you pray, when your forehead touches the ground, when your tears fall in sujud, you'll feel it, that warmth, that peace, that whisper in your heart that says, I was always here. That's Allah, closer to you than your own soul, waiting through every silence, forgiving every mistake, loving you through every fall. So don't think you've gone too far. Don't think it's too late. Allah guided Yusuf from the well to the throne, He can guide you from your pain to your purpose. Just answer His call. Say His name. And watch how your life begins to glow again. And when you begin to glow again, it won't be because life suddenly became perfect, it'll be because your heart finally understood who's in control. You'll wake up with peace instead of panic, with trust instead of fear. You'll stop asking when will it end and start saying, Ya Allah, I'm ready for what you've written. That's the point where pain turns into power, and faith becomes unshakable. Yusuf didn't escape hardship, he grew through it until hardship could no longer control him. You'll reach that point too. The same Allah who heard Yusuf's whispers in the well hears your voice tonight. The same mercy that lifted him will lift you. So don't stop praying, don't stop hoping, don't stop believing that your story is sacred, even in the waiting. Because the waiting is where Allah writes His most beautiful miracles. And one day, you'll look back and realize, when you felt lost, you were never alone. It was Allah, guiding your steps, softening your heart. and calling you closer until you finally answered, and everything you once feared turned into light. And that is where your journey turns from wandering to awakening. The moment you whisper, Ya Allah, guide me, the entire universe bends in your favor. Doors you never imagined begin to open, hearts begin to heal, and the same pain that once broke you becomes the reason you rise. That's the secret of Yusuf's story and the message for every lost soul: you were never truly lost, only being led through the path that shapes your faith. When Allah calls you closer, it's not through ease but through transformation. So let your heart soften, let your tears fall, and trust that even in your darkest moments, He is near. Because the story always ends the same way for those who hold on with peace, with light, and with the realization that every hardship was simply Allah calling your soul home.